Gopiyanavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopiyanavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita. Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita. Jaya Jagana Jaya Jagana Jaya Valadeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagana Jaya Jagana Jaya Valadeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sri Gaura Nitai ki jai, Jagannath Bali Subhadra ki jai, Sri Radha Vallabha ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Thank you so much for being here today. We will try to continue with the reading and recitation in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as a part of our daily program. So today we have Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 37 on the board. Yes? Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanang Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Nudirajet. Yep. So we can repeat Śrīmad Bhāgavatam text 37. Tasmai Bhavan Hari Shiras Tanunan Hibidram. Veda druho ativalo madhu kaitava kyao. Bhakyo, right, yeah. Hantva najas shruti gunamscha rajas tamascha. Satvantava priyatamantanun atmananti. Tasmai bhavan hayasirastanunam hibidrat. Veda druha ativalo madhukaitavakyo. Hatva nayakshuti gunamscha rajastamascha. Sattva tava priyatamantanu amananti. Tasmai bhavan hayasirastanunan hibidrat. Veda drubho ativalo madhukaitavakyo. Hatva nayak shruti gunamscha rayastamascha. Satvantava priyatamantanum amananti. If you want to repeat. Tasmai bhavanta yajirastanuvan hibidrat. Vedra druha ativalo madhukaitavakya. Katwana yakchuti gunascha rajastamascha. Tattvantava priyatamantanum avayanti. Anyone else? Tasmai bhavan hayasirastanuvan hibidras. Veda dhruva ativalo madhukaitavakyo. Katvai vajasruti ganascha garastamascha. Satvantava priyatamantanun amananti. Thank you. Tasmai bhavan hiyasirastanu hibidram. Vedra druko ativalam madhukaitavakya. Hatva yat ganascha vairastamascha. Sattvantam priyatamam tanumainanti. Tasmai bhavan hiyasirastanumam bhidrat. Vedra dhruvo ativalo madhukaitavakya. Hatva Shritu-ganascha rayastamascha Sattvantava priyatamantanu amananti. Thank you. Tasmai unto Lord Brahma. Baba, your lordship. Hayashira, having the head and neck of a horse. Tanum, the incarnation. He, indeed. Vibharat, accepting. Veda Druha, two demons who were against the Vedic principles. Ativalo, extremely powerful. Madhu Kaitava Akyo, known as Madhu and Kaitava. Hatwa, killing. Anujad, delivered. Sruti Ganam, all the different Vedas. Sama, Yayur, Rig, and Atharva. Cha, and. Rajatamas Cha, by representing the modes of passion and ignorance. Satwam, pure transcendental goodness. Tava, your. Priyataman, most dear. Tanun, form, as Hayagriva. Ananti, their honor. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Prabhupada. My dear Lord, when you appeared as Hayagriva with the head of a horse, you killed two demons known as Madhu and Kaitava, who were full of modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great sages, all the great saints appear. All the great saints accept your form as transcendental and tinge of material qualities. Purpose. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is in His transcendental form is always ready to give protection to His devotees. As mentioned herein, the Lord in the form of Hayagriva killed two demons named Madhu and Kaitava. When they attacked Lord Brahma, modern demons think that there is no life in the beginning of creation. But from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we understand that the first living creature created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead was Lord Brahma, who is full of Vedic understanding. Unfortunately, those entrusted with distributing Vedic knowledge, such as devotees engaged in spreading Krishna consciousness, may sometimes be attacked by demons, but they must rest assured that demoniac attack will not be able to harm them. For the Lord is always prepared to give them protection. The Vedas provide the knowledge by which we can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedascha sarvai aham eva vidyo. The devotees of the Lord are always ready to spread knowledge by which one may understand the Lord through Krishna consciousness. But the demons, being unable to understand the Supreme Lord, are full of ignorance and passion. Thus, the Lord, whose form is transcendental, is always ready to kill the demons. By cultivating the mode of goodness, one can understand the position of the transcendental Lord and how the Lord is always prepared to remove all the obstacles in the path of understanding Him. In summary, whenever the Lord incarnates, He appeared in His original transcendental form, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:7. Yada yada hyadharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanan adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, or descendant of Bharata, and in predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. It is simply foolish to think of the Lord as being originally impersonal, but accepting a material body when He appears as a personal incarnation. Whenever the Lord appears, He appears in His original transcendental form, which is spiritual and blissful. But an intelligent man, such as the Mayavadis, cannot understand the transcendental form of the Lord. And therefore the Lord chastised them by saying, Avajananti mang muda manusintanum asritam. Foolish, derive me when I descend in my human form. Whenever the Lord appeared, whether as a fish, a tortoise, a hawk, or any other form, one should understand that He maintains His transcendental position and that His only business, as stated here, is hatva, to kill the demons. The Lord appears in order to protect the devotees and kill the demons. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya chaduskritam. Since the demons are always ready to oppose Vedic civilization, they are sure to be killed by the transcendental form of the Lord. Translation again. My dear Lord, when you appeared as Hayagriva with the head of a horse, you killed two demons known as Madhu and Kaitava, who were full of modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your form as transcendental and tinged by material qualities. Onangyanati mirandasya, gyanan gyanashalakaya, chakshurumitanjena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukhaṁ karoti vachalam vangung langayate giri yat kripata mahavande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Vardhanan Sri Chaitanya Ishvaran. Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Vanchakalpa taruyascha kripa sindhuya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Again, thank you so much for being here today. Well, I was trying to prepare for the class, so I thought it would be nice, or at least for me, to understand what is happening and what is the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. It's very, very, very hard because we are talking about a pure devotee. And so as a practicing devotee, it's something that it's very much needed to understand the mood of devotees or advanced devotees, because we all, as a practicing devotees, we would like to eventually reach that platform, that position of advanced devotee. And so we need to understand the qualities, how a pure devotee relates to the Lord, how a pure devotee it's glorifying the Lord, what is the knowledge that he has, and how he actually performed his devotional service. So I was trying to read this chapter from the beginning, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. How by prayers, Prahlad Maharaj pacified the Lord in his form of Nrsimhadev. That it was very difficult for even Lord Brahma or demigods like Lord Shiva, or big personalities with a lot of qualifications. They weren't able to pacify the Lord, what to say. Even to understand the form of the Lord at that moment, it was very difficult. If we can recall, when Lord Nrsimha appeared, it was very surprising. It said, Bhagavatam is described that it's a form that it wasn't seen before. So it was new. Even the consort, the eternal consort of the Lord, Lakshmi Devi, she was hesitating even to approach Lord Nrsimha because she hadn't seen that form before. And everybody was full of fear. Imagine Lord, a huge form, half human and half lion, full of blood, and his eyes were like the sun, very bright like the sun, intestine hanging on from his neck, and he was roaring the way that even in Bhagavatam is very poetic. It said that the roaring of the Lord was so loud that even elephants were fleeing away because it was so loud. So it was so impressive, but and very nicely described. I was trying to visualize that description. Wow, I can imagine a huge form. And Prahlad was just 5 years old boy, and he didn't have that, he wasn't experiencing that fear. So also I was trying to understand what fear is about, why it was so fearful, the form of the Lord. And he's explained that the fear that most of us in a conditioned state experience is based in a false understanding of who we are, the bodily conception of life. So because of that false understanding of who we are, that fear that fear is manifested in our heart, in our mind, and it's covering our intelligence as well. So it happened even to Lord Brahma and the demigods. So, if, for example, in the prayers that Prahlad offered, because Lord Brahma, acknowledging his incapacity, requested Prahlad to approach to the Lord and pacify the Lord. And he said, well, the Lord is very angry because your father, because Hiranyakashipu, so please go and pacify the Lord. Prahlad, if you allow me to just trying to summarize this part, Prahlad didn't hesitate. Prahlad, the first things that he did was just to prostrate to the Lord, to prostrate at the lotus feet of the Lord. A 5 years old boy, out just without fear, just prostrate in front of the Lord. And that attitude moved the heart of the Lord, because Nrsimhadev, by seeing Prahlad prostrate at his feet, immediately he pacified. He was calm, not just that, from his heart, it said in Bhagavatam that the Lord, full of ecstasies and love, he raised up Prahlad, and he also put his hands on his head. So that was so interesting to see, because Bhagavatam specifies saying that the lotus hands of the Lord are ready to protect or to create fearlessness in the heart of his devotees, of the Lord's devotees. So I was remember when I was trying to understand that phrase or that sentence, the lotus hands of the Lord are ready to create fearlessness in the heart of the devotees. I was trying to visualize, for example, Radharani's hands like that, ready. He said Radharani, when she's with her hands like in this mudra, is giving blessings, protections. For example, Lord Jagannath with two hands extended, showing his hands. Even when we see the peaceful mood of Lord Nrsimhadev, also with his hands like that. Or Gaurnitais, all his hands rise up, trying to give encouragement, blessings, protection to devotees. So, but by us meditating in those forms of the Lord, with that conviction, the lotus hands of the Lord are ready to create fearlessness in the heart of his devotees. Because all of us, we experience fear in different ways, in different times, due to, again, our misunderstanding who we are, and under the influence of material nature, the modes of material nature. So Prahlad, once he rose up from his prostrate position, without fear, he started talking to the Lord, offering prayers. And the first things that he said is acknowledging his own condition, the attitude of humility. He said, well, Lord Brahma, all the demigods, they are very high qualified devotees of yours. They are in the mode of goodness, but me and my father, we are from the demoniac family, so what qualification we have? I have no qualification. He acknowledged his position out of humbleness. So I thought, okay, that is a nice, important attitude to understand how we need to approach to the Lord, because it's something that we need to do as a practicing devotees, and trying to understand the mood of pure devotee. It's understanding first our position, our conditioning, accepting, acknowledging that. So naturally, real humility will come out, or will be expressed. So then, after acknowledging that, Prahlad says, well, my Lord, you are kind, you manifested all this universe, but the only way, for example, all the creation of material creation, it's done because we, as a living entities, independent with our own free will, we have a lot of desires, but because of our desires, we are put in this material world. And due to the modes of material nature, under the influence of material nature, those desires are giving us the opportunity to experience different forms of life, from the Brahma or higher positions like Brahma to the ants. He acknowledged that, but he said as well, in this continuous cycle of repeat birth and death due to our material desires under the influence of material nature, there is only the one way to get free from that. Because in this experiencing these forms of life and all these varieties of forms of life, there is also an endeavor to try to come out from there. But if, according to Prahlad Maharaj says that if we find material solutions to how to come out from this conditioning, all will fail. All those forms or trying some kind of techniques or remedies, he used the word remedies. If we try to find remedies to come out from this material conditioning, those will fail, because instead creating the solution, they are worse than the misery themselves. That's again the poetic way of Bhagavatam to say things, that the remedies for the miserable condition of life are more miserable than the misery itself. Those are the words of the Bhagavatam. And but then he said the only way is to offer devotional service to you. And immediately Prahlad remembered Gajendra. It's like Gajendra did it. And I was trying to understand why Gajendra, or why he remembered Gajendra. And the next text, Prahlad said, Gajendra did it because for your devotional service, my Lord, there is not, you are not interested in material qualifications. You don't expect higher aristocratic families or wealth or education, mystic powers. It's not that you are satisfied with that. The only thing that you are satisfied is with devotion. With devotional service, the attitude of serving you. And that attitude can be possible to express even in the lower forms of life, like animals, like Gajendra did it. So now that makes sense why Prahlad remembered Gajendra. Like devotional service is also possible for beings lower kind, if we want to say, lower forms of life, animals. If animals are able to be engaged in devotional service, what to say human beings? There is also hope for us. So in that way, Prahlad stated that. But one of the things that I was trying to understand is his remembrance wasn't an ordinary elephant, based on an ordinary elephant. It was a pure devotee. Gajendra was a devotee. So by remembering devotees, it's also another way how we can be engaged in devotional service, motivated to be engaged in devotional service. And Prahlad immediately after those prayers, he also acknowledged and prayed to the Lord, I want to be engaged in always in association of devotees. Because through the association of devotees, we will be able to come out from the influence of material nature or the modes of material nature. And at that moment, it's that he remembers his spiritual master, Narada Muni. And he said something very important. He said, I cannot leave the service of my spiritual master. And he prays that I would like to remain serving him in the service of my spiritual master. So that the service of the attitude of gratitude, be grateful to the spiritual master, is another good quality that perhaps, if you like, we can receive, or we can understand from the exalted character of Prahlad Maharaj. After that, he continued praying, acknowledging how Krishna is present in different ways in all this material creation. First, acknowledge that all the creation is coming from God, from Krishna. But it's his energy But in that way, he is also present externally and internally. So it's not different there is no difference between the energetic and the energy. So that is also another way how, for me, in my understanding, how it's possible for Prahlad to see the Lord everywhere. Where that conviction of the presence of the Lord in everywhere, in any part of the creation, because it's not different. I remember, for example, in the description of the pastimes, when Hiranyakashipu was trying to kill Prahlad, Prahlad also emphasized that, the Lord is everywhere. And Hiranyakashipu said, he's in this pillar. Yes, he's there. He was very much convinced of that. So in his prayers, we can see the mood of the level of his understanding. He's able to see the Lord everywhere. And everything works based on the Lord because of the presence of the Lord. Even how the modes of material nature influence us. It says that the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance influence us according to our desires, according to our levels of consciousness. And that also determines the way how we work, where we work, what is the goal of life that we pursue due to that influence. And all these are directly organized by the Lord himself. So after glorifying, acknowledging the presence of the Lord, now Prahlad explained about Lord Brahma, how he came to be, who is Lord Brahma. So that are the previous text. And also for today, the text is talking about the incarnation of Lord Hayagriva. So I was trying to understand this text because following the sequence of the prayers and what is coming, also more prayers of Prahlad acknowledging about the importance of devotional service and the attitude, or the compassionate attitude that he has towards all living beings. I couldn't understand why Prahlad talked about Hayagriva. It was difficult for me to understand why it's this text here. But because, again, the Acharya, the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, the purpose that Srila Prabhupada gave us in this text makes more sense now. Basically, perhaps, again, my understanding, limited understanding, it's not much talking about the specific incarnation of Hayagriva, but it's more trying to present or explain the quality of how Krishna constantly is coming in different incarnations with the purpose to protect his devotees, and he's very ingenious in the way how he does it. He takes different forms, more beyond our understanding. Like, for example, the form of Nisringadev. Hiranyakashipu, according to the descriptions of Bhagavatam, he was very much qualified, Brahminical. His birth quality is a Brahmana. He has all the knowledge of the Vedas. He knows all the Vedas. He has mystic powers. He has money or wealth, strength, a lot of knowledge. But he wasn't able to understand the form of Nisringadev. When he asked the blessings or some wounds from Lord Brahma, Hiranyakashipu, with all his knowledge, he tried to cover all the options, possible options, how he can avoid being killed. So but he couldn't even imagine that form of the Lord. But Krishna of surpassing his intelligence, he showed how he's very ingenious. He's able to come in different ways beyond of our understanding, with the purpose only to protect his devotees, establish spiritual principles. That is, for example, how Prahlad said, well, actually, my Lord, I'm not fearful of your form. Your form, actually, it's just a pastime for your own pleasure. It's just that. He understands that all are pastimes that the Lord manifests for his own pleasure. But it has also a purpose, always to protect his devotees and establish spiritual principles, and in the process of doing so, sometimes it's needed to kill demons. It says that Bhagavatam, this I heard one lecture of very famous and special Maharaj, Swami Kesha Maharaj. In one of his class, he expressed that, he says that Bhagavatam not just give us factual knowledge about the different events that they are real, they are factual. It's not just a historical narration of what happened. It's not just they give us opportunity to learn spiritual principles about ethics and spiritual values, but also it gives us some teachings in a metaphorical way. So how these teachings can be applied in our daily life experience, how we can learn and how this can be actually applicable in our life. And many times we hear that, for example, the demoniac tendencies that Hiranyakashipu express or is described here in Bhagavatam, is also present in all of us. So in that it's a metaphorical teachings that Bhagavatam is giving us. If we honestly understand or analyze what is happening, how this can be applicable in our life, we can see and find that many times in our attitude, we also behave like Hiranyakashipu when we try to do things in an independent way, when we try to even control material nature or achieving goals or doing things more focused in how we can find happiness in an independent way. So that is the demoniac nature that is also present in us, and as a practicing devotees, how we can be with awareness of that, but also how we can overcome the influence of that tendency that is every day, every moment present on us, and how we can also awaken or strengthen the divine qualities that pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and many other exalted devotees represent or express in Bhagavatam, how that can be also manifested in our life. So in that way, the metaphorical teachings or form of Bhagavatam can be more related in our daily life experience, and the purpose how we read or why we study Bhagavatam, it's not just by hearing, cleansing our heart, but also providing practical applications in our daily life. And regarding today, text, just to be very brief, is the importance that has spreading Krishna consciousness, as Prabhupada nicely mentioned in this purpose. We will see this also in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. In the continuous verses, Prahlad will please the Lord, and Krishna will give him the opportunity, on Nisringadev will give him the opportunity to ask for some benedictions. And Prahlad Maharaj show again his nice exalted qualities by not requesting personal favors, requesting benedictions for other beings. He's showing his compassionate nature. And the preaching activities that Hare ISKCON movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, based in the Founder-Acharya's mood, it has the purpose to spread the spiritual knowledge, trying to help other living entities, uplifting the consciousness of other living entities. And it's quite interesting the way it's that, because, for example, like Prahlad Maharaj, when he's in the previous text trying to emphasize the importance of being engaged in devotional service as a means to come out from the material conditioning, Prahlad Maharaj says that the Lord is very independent. He doesn't need the service of any one of us. He's self-satisfied, Swarat, independent, but by being engaged in devotional service actually is the benefit for each one of us. The devotee is the one who received the benefits of being engaged in devotional service. And another way of the poetic way of Bhagavatam is that Prahlad Maharaj said, it's like if you decorate your face and use the mirror, the reflection in the mirror will be also decorated. So that analogy that Prahlad Maharaj used is to again emphasize the purpose of devotional service. By being engaged in devotional service, actually the benefit is for us itself, for ourselves. And so it's not the Lord who gets the benefit for our service, it's just us. And so when the Lord is pleased, automatically we will be pleased. So also Nrsimhadev, when he talks with Prahlad, he says that the only way to understand me, the only way to appreciate me, is by pleasing me. That is the important statement that Lord Nrsimhadev says. So I was thinking, well, how we can please the Lord? The only way is because our limited understanding and in our practicing devotee's condition, it's by following the footstep of pure advanced devotees. And Prahlad Maharaj, we know that he pleased the Lord. So, and his mood is compassionate to other living entities. And the same mood is reflected in our Founder-Acharya. Prabhupada, out of compassion, he created ISKCON, or he did all the efforts, even traveling to the West at that level, with all conditionings of difficulties at the age that he did it. Prabhupada, out of compassion, create all these opportunities, service opportunity for all of us. And he also constantly is encouraging us to do it. Spread the Krishna consciousness, that knowledge to others, sharing the benefit, the blessings and the benefit that we have by having opportunity to access to spiritual knowledge and devotional service. By doing it, we get blessings, we please the Lord, and we ourselves get satisfied. While I'm sitting here, I'm just repeating that to myself. I was trying to avoid to give the class today. Yesterday, I was feeling bad. I was a lot of headache and my aching body. So I requested a devotee to give the class, and he said he will do it. But then I received a call saying that he won't be able to do it. I was trying to call many devotees if they can give the class, but it was impossible. So it was meant for me to be here and trying to talk about this for my own benefit. Also, again, repeating that sentences that the Lord doesn't need our services just for our own benefit. And I'm repeating this to myself. Manjari, you are here to do this service for your benefit and also trying to serve others. Just wanted to share that experience and how grateful I am with you all for this opportunity, because when I was reading that and today morning, I wanted to read more the prayers, because I was trying to surrender. Krishna, what do you want me to talk? What do you want me to share with devotees? So I was reading and I couldn't stop. I went more, but then I said, okay, what we can share in practical with devotees is just glorifying your kindness, my Lord, no? Because you come in different ways, only for our benefit. Ways that very ingenious forms as an animal, all the forms of human beings, of demigods, all in different incarnations that Krishna takes only for our benefit. Yesterday, a group of students from a school, girls, they came yesterday, 30 students. We got the opportunity to introduce them about Krishna consciousness, what we practice, what we do here. And one of the things that is traditional in the new people is to ask, what is those deities? What's the personalities over there? Why you do this worship? Because it was the opportunity a devotee was doing the worship, the arti. The question came out, why? It's a different forms, all are different, different gods or something like that. It was a nice opportunity to explain that actually it's the same God like the Christians and the Muslim people or the other religions. It's the same God, but look like a different forms or different gods, but it's his expression of love. Krishna comes in different ways only to facilitate us the opportunity to be engaged in service, to protect us, and to give us the opportunity to connect with Him. So He's showing His love for us in a more expressive way that perhaps most of us, we are not able to do it. Because it's a loving relationship that we have with the Lord, but that is our nature, our reality as a spiritual souls. But due to our covering stage of consciousness, we are not able to express, but He is the most proactive being in trying to reestablish that relationship. So seeing the lordships or the forms of the Lord, the different deities form or incarnations of the Lord, or the holy name itself, as different forms of the Lord trying to protect us, to awaken our dormant love for Him. So it's kind of exciting way how He creatively, actively is doing and is acting only for us. By acknowledging that eventually, I guess, I hope, we will be able to reciprocate with Him. So I will stop here. If anybody has any comment, question? Oh, just one thing that I was remembering about the Hayagriva form. Previously also we read about Hayagriva form, because Hayagriva as a form of half human and head of a horse. It also, that form was repeated in I was doing some research in Google, and it said that a demon, Hayagriva, was also there and was killed by Matsya-avatar. I don't know that pastime yet. I don't know if any of the Puranas is describing, probably Matsya Purana or something like that. So yeah, that is also, Hayagriva is a demon that was killed by Matsya-avatar. But in Bhagavatam, in the 6th canto, we heard about another Hayagriva form, that Dadichi Muni took form of that. Do you remember that pastime? When Dadichi Muni, it's described very shortly. It said that the Aswini Kumaras, they are doctors. So they wanted to have spiritual knowledge, to receive all the Vedic knowledge from Dadichi Muni. So they approached to him and said, please instruct us. But Indra, Lord Indra, he was against that. He said, no, if you instruct to the Aswini Kumaras, I'll kill you. That was that Indradev told to Dadichi Muni. Because Indra was afraid that if the Aswini Kumaras receive this transcendental knowledge, they will stop being the Ayurvedic doctors. Yeah? So, Dadichi Muni, when the Aswini Kumaras approached to him, please guide us, he said, well, actually, I cannot do, I would like to, but I cannot do it because Indra, he threatened me, and he said, if I do it, he will cut my head. He will kill me. So Aswini Kumara said, okay, no problem. What we will do is, we will cut your head, we will put a head of a horse on you. You instruct us through the mouth of the horse, and when Lord Brahma or Lord Indra comes and behead you, we will put your original head back. So this is the description of Bhagavatam. And we read it in the 6th canto. Yeah, that is the pastime of Hayagriva's form. Just wanted to recollect that as part of the class. Any comments? Any question? Yes?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the nice class. Mataji, you mentioned how Prahlad Maharaj, with so much humility, was praying how he was born in a demonic family, and how Narasimha Dev was so merciful. But on the other side, we see, in my case, I'm born in a devotee family, so that humility doesn't come naturally. And then, because we're born in a devotee family, we start to feel a bit proud of our birth, even though there are lots of other things that we should be humble about. So what do we do about that?
Thank you for your question. It's a beautiful question. Thank you. While you were asking the question, one thing comes to my mind, and also remembering an answer of, I think one Swami, I can't remember exactly, but also Prabhupada said, but sincerely analyzing ourselves, we will find that we are still struggling with under the influence of mode of nature. If we sincerely do introspection, we will find that we are still have a lot of shortcomings. We are still fighting with the greed, envy, or anger, all the 6 doors to hell, yeah? So it's a personal reflection that we need to do. Yes, even the opportunity that we have here, practicing, the opportunity of being engaged in service, under the guidance of pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and our spiritual master, if we see, oh wow, we are in an exalted position, but if we are honest and reflect in our own internal condition in our consciousness. We find, I'm still having envy, I'm still have pride. Ooh, better to be humble. And also, if we remember our previous activities, we did many mistakes. Oh, okay, so I'm not perfect, I'm not a saintly person if I remember my mistakes. So naturally will come, better to be humble, shout my mouth if I want to criticize somebody, because just remember yesterday you did something, a week ago you did something like that. Okay, better to be careful. Especially, that is natural, comes natural, if we are honest. So it's important to be honest and always checking our character or what is happening in our thought process, our emotions. It is important. That answers your question? Yeah? Of course, at the same time, be grateful for all the benefits and good things that Krishna is giving us. You have a question, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. Why does the Lord come with a horse head in this pastime? Because we've seen other pastimes when it comes as Matsya or Korma, there's a utility for that form to appear. Even Lord Nrsimhadev is very fearful.
Yeah.
Korma was lifting Sumeri mountain. Matsya was swimming in the cosmic devastation of the ocean at the end of the universe. So why is Lord appearing as a horse head in this pastime?
Yeah, quite interesting question. Also myself, I did, and I don't have the answer for that yet. But I do remember asking to my spiritual master, because I couldn't understand how somebody can steal the knowledge from somebody else. Like a Brahma, for example, Lord Brahma received the knowledge, and Madhu and Kaitava demons, they stole all the knowledge. So I thought, oops, how that work? Because it's Krishna who gave us first remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So how is it possible that somebody can steal knowledge from somebody? My Guru Maharaj said, well, actually, Madhu and Kaitava demons were subtle, because the mind and remembrance is a subtle body. So they were also in a subtle body, and they stole that knowledge. So in order to, in a subtle way, it's also another part of the prayers of Prahlad, is the Lord create all the subtle forms as well of the living entities. So my understanding, limited understanding, it's the Lord also find ways how he can, in that realm, be active in that way. But how the horse form it's appropriate for that, I don't know. If you find some answers to that, please share with me or share with us. Thank you so much. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much. Granted as Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.